Good morning, Western Slope. Happy Tuesday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, we're seeing an active weather day for the Western Slope. This is going to be primarily for the morning hours, but I don't have to be the one to tell you that. Take a look at America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. Not only the water droplets on the camera itself, but how violently it's shaking. We're seeing a lot of gusty outflow wind this morning. That's going to be carrying on for a majority of the day as the valley itself is under a wind advisory, but that is far from the only watches and warnings we are seeing at this point in time. Winter storm warnings as well as avalanche watches across the Western Slope. Rain and snow showers developing for today. Yeah, I said rain and snow showers. Seems like even though we're seeing a little bit of rain right now, that's going to be developing as temperatures continue to drop, as we're not seeing that sun for a couple more hours, and going to be an interesting one. All across our forecasting range, we got a lot going on here. Let's break down these colors here. So the tan, these are the lower elevation areas. That is your wind advisory. This is going to be in effect until 5 p.m. today. Your winter storm watches, that's the next tier up in the pink section. That's around the Mesa, the Monument, and the San Juans. And then avalanche watches also for some areas of the Mesa, pushing into the Central Mountains. So going to be a lot of interesting things developing here. Just exercise a lot of caution if you're doing any traveling, because we're expecting whiteout conditions across the region. Meanwhile, we head over to the Front Range, and that's where we start to see fire weather warnings. Yeah. Fire weather warnings while we're seeing snow over here. And a lot of that has to do with the wind that we're experiencing all across the Centennial State. Now, I don't have to be the one to tell you, we're seeing a lot of moisture pushing through western Colorado at this point in time. It's very much so a burst, though. It seems like this cell is going to come and go. And then as we head into the morning hours, most of it is going to return to those partly cloudy skies. But we may see a return to those snow showers a little bit later in the afternoon regardless. If we zoom into our forecasting range a little bit better, you get a better idea of what's going on here. The Monument getting hit with a fair amount of snow, as well as the Mesa, and then the valley itself filling in with some pretty intense rainfall, but that's already starting to dissipate. Waking up right now to 40 degrees in Grand Junction. Similar conditions in Paonia. Then you got Nucla a little bit cooler than that, with Delta in the mid 40s, a little bit warmer. Not too often that you see that this early in the morning. Montrose in those low 40s, with Glade Park sitting below freezing. Telluride hanging out right around that range as well, with Ridgeway kind of splitting the difference. We will start to see a gradual increase in temperature after that 8-9 o'clock hour. Then we start to see temps peaking around 50 degrees. Not going to be too much of a difference in our temperatures, with possible rain and snow showers returning around noon, but it's not expected to be nearly as intense. For that Cozy Cat forecast, we got Birdie and Bogey hanging out with us today, and it's going to be a very cozy one. Just make sure that you have those phones charged, because with all these winds here, 25-mile-an-hour wind speeds pretty consistently throughout the day, we could start seeing more and more power lines get cut out. So make sure those devices are charged. You've got some flashlights handy, and hey, maybe bust out a scented candle or two. You've earned it. Now, over the next couple of days, we're going to see that system slowly start to dissipate, although snow will be hanging out in those higher elevations for the next 48 hours, and then we start to see that kind of leave for a little bit. Another closed low, though, starts to develop over the west coast, a little bit further north. So whether or not we actually see that, only time will tell. But what we do know is over the next 5 days, we are not done yet. The Mesa and the San Juans seeing a fair amount of that moisture. Over the next 7 days, though, we're seeing a pretty guaranteed amount of snow showers for Grand Junction tomorrow. 80% chance of that for the valley, and then seeing that drop off for Thursday, possibly returning as early as Friday, though. Then you got Montrose, a little bit cooler, although 90% chances of snow showers. We're only seeing those low 40s in Montrose. Thursday peaking just barely above freezing, so it's going to be an interesting one with a week full of active weather.